Hi everyone, really appreciate being here and thank you so much for inviting. Actually, I think around 7 years ago we were with Hackmotion to similar lab band pitching event. Unfortunately, we didn't secure any funding, but decided to pursue our idea anyway. And so we got to this point, basically entering bootstrapping mode, and yeah, that's how we got here. And yeah, so today I'm gonna explain a bit maybe more our story and might give some additional perspective for both startups and investors. So yeah, first of all, what we actually do. So Hackmotion helps amateur athletes to improve in skill-based sports like golf or baseball. So we manufacture wearable sensors that can extremely accurately measure your movement, and then we build software that can analyze the movements in real time and provide you personalized insights, drills, and help you to improve. So currently we are fully focusing on golf market, but we have also a promising pilot product in baseball and are looking at other niches, but currently we're all about golf. And yeah, our business model is rather simple. We just sell our hardware, but we have multiple software versions attached to it. So it's the same hardware, but different kind of software tiers. And you can upgrade between them after the purchase as well. And yeah, so lately we've been doing rather well. So we have been growing by revenue 2 times a year for the last several years. Last year we shipped, I think, around 8,000 units, generated almost 3 million in revenue. We have clients all over the world, wherever people play golf. And actually this year we are on track to increase our growth rate. So we see how we do. Yeah, so currently we are profitable, so we are growing with our own funds, but most probably the interesting part is how we actually got to that point, and so how did we get things off the ground. And yeah, so first of all, obviously we put in whatever we could ourselves. So we were 3 founders. Unfortunately, only one was well enough to put some rather small amount of actual cash. The other 2 just did basically labor without any pay. We were very lucky to secure early on a startup loan. So it was from Imprimatur Capital Fund, and they had really nice program several years ago. I'm happy to say that we paid back loan ahead of schedule, but that was a big help for us back then. And then we also managed to gather some small grants from different kind of competitions and something like that. But altogether, I would say, I'm pretty sure it was less than 100K for us to get to the market and basically instant profitability. And obviously plus sweat and tears of what we put in. Yeah, so 100K definitely not like insignificant amount of money, but I think anyone from hardware world would tell that it's super difficult and extremely rare to get to a profitable stage with so less, I would say. And I think the key for us was really finding a way to focus on what matters. So figuring out what is super important for our early customers and what is just noise and we can neglect it. And just so you a bit better understand what I mean by that, I will give you some of maybe the most extreme examples of how we did things early on. So before we actually committed to golf, we did 2 major pivots with the same funding. We went from snowboarding to sports target shooting and then to golf. And before building product in golf, we decided, okay, we're going to do proper market research. We organized, I think, close to 100 interviews with golf coaches worldwide and just showed them super scrappy, simple demo just to see whether they get excited about the idea. So it was really like low production video with some scrappy prototypes showing the basic concept of what we could do. For example, this graph, I literally drew myself in Microsoft Paint without writing any line of code, anything like that, just to show what could be possible and see whether the golf coaches, which was our target audience at the time, got interested. This was our first e-commerce website, basically PayPal payment link where early customers could commit to pre-orders at the time. And yeah, so even when we got the first pre-orders, we decided to push the kind of lean and minimal viable product approach, or whatever you call it, basically to the limits. And so this is the first hardware we shipped to the paying customers as a prototype, not as an end unit. But so it maybe doesn't look that bad, but if you look closer in, we actually secured the straps with just plastic zip ties. It was faster, cheaper. We just wanted to get it out and get some feedback. This was our first user interface. We didn't hire any fancy designer. It was designed by me, an engineer, I think you can tell. Several of the major features in the first versions which we showed customers lacked major functionality. It was just basically empty. And while this looks horrible, what it allowed us is to, as fast as possible, really understand like what's important for the clients. If they say that this one number, it has to be there, it has to be accurate, we worked on that one. And if they completely didn't tell anything about some other one, we just didn't do the work and saved a bunch of time and money. And yeah, I'm happy to say that over some 5-6 years, we have got from this to this. This is actually our third hardware version, which we hopefully will ship to customers already next week. So yeah, things have changed despite that we started crappy. We don't feel that scrappy and weird anymore. And yeah, so just to conclude, in our experience, a couple of tips I can give you to be more efficient is first, don't build anything before you have done your market research, because I guarantee you'll focus on the stuff that your clients actually don't need. If you have very limited resources, whether you're self-funded or even have fundraised, you'll just spend money on things that won't get you forward. The other thing is, which helped us a lot, is focus at first on niche where you can get big margins. So obviously we have always wanted to enter kind of consumer market, be like with really big scale, but we understood if we start with, for example, golf coaches, we can get much bigger margins. And so I think everything what Arta said about the drawbacks and hurdles is true. So if you want to get profitable as soon as possible in low volume manufacturing, you better be able to ask a big price. And so that's what we did and helped quite a lot, basically being profitable selling first 10 units in a month or something like that. And the last thing is, yeah, really be as scrappy as you can be. So there are two sides of it. First of all, if you really understand your customer, you understand what matters and what not. And believe me, for early customers, they don't care about zip ties or something like that. If they're excited about the value you can bring to them, they will be happy anyways. And the other thing is, yeah, just get your hands dirty. Like, I don't know, first units we shipped to the customers, I literally soldered the PCBs myself by hand and did all kind of that stuff just to save any kind of money and resources. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer. And by the way, we are hiring, so if you know anyone who might be a good fit for us, send them to me. I'll be happy to talk.
Thank you very much. A round of applause.